Okay, Enzo, good night for you. How are you? We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now, yes, Enzo, how are you? Nice to
Great.
have you here. I was
Thank you
saying
very,
good
thank you very
night for
much.
you. How's everything
Thank you,
going?
Rodolfo. Everything good. Everything good. How about you?
First of all, yeah, we're really good. We're very excited to have you in poetry school. I know
Thank
that
you.
took a couple months to get our schedule aligned to have this opportunity. Since I met you, I don't know when I met you in April, I think.
Yeah,
uh,
I think it was
in the
April. Yeah,
Mike Sarek workshop. But
correct.
we're very excited, guys, and I welcome the people that is live that is already join us in this webinar. Well, this is kind of podcast webinar because our intention here is to be very dynamic in the conversation with Enzo. I will do a little introduction of Enzo. Enzo is he has a degree of in a veterinary school. He's from Brazil, and he has a lot of international experience. And right now, I think that since 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah,
Enzo is living in Saudi Arabia. A lot of things are going on in Saudi, and that's why we believe that was very interesting for our audience to have Enzo to share different topics. First of all, getting his perspective, getting his insight where the poultry industry is going in Saudi. That for us, maybe that we are in the western side, for example, sometimes we don't have so much insight what is going on. Secondly, another thing that really captured our attention is how the expat, being an expat in Saudi, coming from Brazil, and that experience with family and mixing let's say, the business, the work, and the personal insights. And then another topic that really captured our attention is the different type of managements and techniques. I know, Enzo, that you have a lot of experience in ventilation, and maybe that's why of the reasons that you are doing a really good job in your company. Right now, Enzo is working with ARASCO, a very important poultry company in Saudi. So let's start, Mr. Enzo. We have around 45 minutes, 50 minutes to discuss, to make this discussion very open. And
great.
um, and then the time is yours, amigo. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rodolfo, for the whole introduction and for the opportunity to be talking about my experience and what is it's going on in the Middle East. Yes, as you said, it's emergent market is what is happening here. It's and we can consider in the whole Middle East, not only in Saudi Arabia. I will be mainly talking about Saudi Arabia because it's the place that I'm living and working. But we can expand it to all the countries around Saudi and in the Middle East. So Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. So there are many countries. They are smaller in size when compared to Saudi Arabia. That's why I think that the opportunities here are bigger. But still, the all these countries are growing. And if anyone starts to do some research about the place, you see that how it's growing. Um, Okay, let me just feel free to make any question, and if it's
Enzo,
something's not clear.
what do you think? What do you think is the main reason of the growing in the Middle East? There is any specific reasons? Is investment, because we know, is our knowledge that mostly the Middle East country, their main income or their main resource is oil.
Yeah,
So do you have any insight why is this poultry, animal protein going in that direction?
yeah, you are right. Um, in 2020 2020, in 2020, Saudi Arabia did a plan that they call Vision 2030. So this is, I think, this
We
is
lost your
one
mic.
good example.
Now it's good. Now
Sorry.
it's good. Now
Yeah.
go ahead. Now.
No, I think that's a good example that we can use for all the countries. So on 2020, Saudi Arabia made a plan on how to grow in 10 years. So they call it Vision 2030. So they have a plan, a clear plan that they wrote it down and it's public. That what they are going to do in 10 years from 2020 up to 2030, uh, to do not be dependent only of oil. And this is the main thing that are bringing all these changes to the country. Not only here. If we remember last year the World Cup, it was in Qatar. So the countries around the countries in Middle East, they are looking for that. They understand that okay, the economy, the most important thing, or let's say the biggest thing that they have in their countries, it's the oil industry. But they know that this has a time to finish, to end, and they need to develop the other things, the other industries, and they need to try to attract some new business to do not depend only on oil. And because this is it's a world economy, they anything that is happening around the world can affect this economy. So they understood that. I think United Arab Emirates, they started it before anyone. Let's say that they got the first step before the other countries. So that's why we hear a lot about Dubai, for example. And most of the people, I believe, mainly Westerners, they know better Dubai than any other place, and they are doing a good job. So this is the main reason that they it's not only the poultry industry, it's a food industry in the different industries that are being developed through the years. And their target is to do not depend only on the oil industry, and to make the country competitive in all the areas. So when we think about Middle East, and I had this experience when I was in Brazil, and we were exporting in Brazil, still exporting a lot
Exactly.
to these countries. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. That's another question. Because in my research that I did before this interview, I find out that Brazil is the number one country that provide poultry meat to Saudi.
Yes, exactly. It is.
60% of the exports of Brazil, they're going to Saudi Arabia. That's impressive.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. The volume is it's huge, and I saw it when I was in Brazil. A lot of industries exporting to them, and I before I moved to Saudi, it was an interesting fact that before I moved to here, I saw also many companies that were expecting to export to Saudi to stop their plans because Saudi started to grow in their own production. So the what they are trying to do now is to minimize this importation that they do, and they are trying to produce more locally. And this is not only Saudi Arabia; all the countries around in the Middle East, they are trying to do that. That's why it's growing a lot, and they are investing a lot of money considering Saudi, as I told you, this Vision 2030, they have a timeline that they are following. So they need to grow fast for until we are almost in 2024. So they have like 6 years to do all these plans and to grow as they are expecting. So that's why it's happening very fast, and they are putting a lot of money on that. So just I brought some numbers about the Saudi poultry industry, just to try to clarify a little bit more what I was explaining. And in the country, it's difficult to get numbers, the clear numbers, because it is changing a lot. but the consumption per capita is really high. So we can compare the consumption here with Brazil, US, China easily, and it's a animal protein that they really like. As we know, because of the religion, they don't have pork. So the main concentration is in chicken, in beef, lamb as well, some camel, and yeah, these are the main animal protein that they consume. But the highest is the chicken, for sure, the chicken meat. And that's why also this is one of the industries that's growing faster than any other industry related to food production. So we have
Enzo,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead. I have a question.
no, yeah,
With this slide that you are sharing to us,
hmm,
okay? You are saying to us that it's a national program targeting for 2030 to a big increase of in the poultry industry. So
hmm,
you are saying that 1.55 million tons are consumed per year. 60% are locally. Brazil is the number one, let's say, resource.
yeah,
What
yeah,
what do you believe are the challenge to this growth? For example, technology. I think that money or capital is not an issue
yeah,
because yeah, they have some, let's say, resource in capital. And
yeah,
another thing that is people.
yeah,
The human force are ready to produce those chickens, or do you are always putting resource in teaches them, for example, ventilation courses, management courses, a veterinarian? What do you think is the main challenge that Saudi has to reach that target in 2030?
yeah. There are some challenges. One of them, the first thing that comes to my mind is that the weather is a challenge. They have a particular weather here. So summer
Okay,
is really hot, and the winter can be also cold. So this is a natural fact that they cannot control, but this becomes a challenge when they start to think and produce all the things here. Um, Together with this, it comes also the let's say the feed for all these animals. It's also a challenge because they import all the maize, the soy,
you're
everything that
right.
they need to produce feed. They have to import, so they depends of prices in the external market and the quality from different countries. So Saudi imports from Brazil as well, from Argentina, part from India, China. So that it's when you think about the first step to have a local production, these are the first things that comes to my mind. So this is a big challenge. In terms of the weather, we have technology that we can use. That's why it's really important to have capable people and people with knowledge on how to do that. Um, Regarding the importation for feed, for example, they do it well because they understand it, and they know that they need to keep a low fees. They need to keep some incentives for the industries so they can be competitive. Because if these products come to the country with a very high price, nobody can produce. So I think they manage it well. Then it comes to the point that you said, and I think I put it later in the slides, that Saudi is one of the I believe that's already in the top 3 countries in the world that has more expats. So they believe they have a relation of 70% of local people, and the 30% is from outside. That's a huge number. The
Wow.
country is it's big, and it's also growing, and this is also part of the Vision 2030. They want to attract more people to the country. So the population is estimated in 35 million people in the country and growing. So 30% of these 35 million people coming from outside, mainly to work, mainly to develop the economy here. So it is a challenge also because of that. There are some countries around that has people with knowledge and some background in the industry that we try to import these people to come here and help to develop the industry. So we can. It's a mix of bringing people that has no knowledge, doesn't know how to do the how to deal with this industry, with some people with experience. And most of the people with experience, they stay in management positions, so they are in charge, or they are the ones that need to train, need to create a standard procedure for any company. This is not only for the poultry industry, this is for everything. So this is also a challenge for sure. And they don't have the culture, so it's different when you think, for example, about Brazil or about the US. It's part of the culture to have farms, to have big farms, to have farmers that are
Hmm.
looking for this industry. And here is something completely new. So it's common to have investors that they are in different business, they are doing different things, and they want to start their farm, but they have zero knowledge about how to do that. And this is part of our job. I believe that whoever is coming from outside and has some experience and knowledge, if we get this opportunity and if we do it well, we can build something really nice. Because as you said, money and investment is not a problem. They want to do it well. They want to do it in the right way. So they need someone to be guiding them. And but this is the main challenge. When you start to work in the poultry industry here, it's difficult to find, not only to find people that has experience and are able to work, but also people that wants to be living in a different country, that it has a different culture, that has a lot of. And I know that because I talk to my friends in Brazil, and it's not a country well known as countries in Europe and US or Brazil. So people has different mindset about the country,
Yes.
different
Hmm.
ideas. And this is a challenge, because when you try to bring these people, sometimes this is something that they say no. They will think about it and they say no. I will not take my family to this country that I don't even know. So yeah, there are some challenges.
I know. I have a let's say business question before moving to that personal challenge to, let's say, increase the knowledge of the industry. I don't know if you have, for example, the question is, with this plan that Saudi has for 2030, is for going to the local market, or they are planning to export in the future? It's just for local
No,
market.
no. There are also some plan to export, because the other countries in the Middle East, they are small countries. Saudi, I think, in the area is the biggest in the Middle East. If it's not the biggest one of the bigger countries here. And there are small countries that their capacity is limited by the area that they have. So Qatar, for example, Bahrain, they are islands. They have a limited area to produce, for example. And it is an opportunity for Saudi to export to these countries that are close to Saudi Arabia. So we have Kuwait, we have Bahrain, Qatar, uh, Oman, that they are smaller than Saudi. So the idea is also to be able to export.
Okay,
But
so
but mainly is to change, Rodolfo. The main idea now is to have more local production than importation. This is the main target.
and here is the next question is, I don't know if you have, because you have a lot of, let's say, information, friends, and maybe you can look for with another colleagues, whatever. How are the KPIs of the Saudi production? For example, mortality,
Yeah.
feed consumption, way to market. How
Mhm.
are those measured compared to, let's say, the top growers, let's say, in the world, like USA or Latin America? Saudi is the poultry, the broiler. They have good KPIs, or there is still a gap to get more technology and be on the top of the KPIs. But then there is another question: is
Mhm.
under which cost
Yeah.
the production of 1 kilo or pound of chicken is profitable to export? Because we know that, for example, Brazil, that the cost of production is cheap. Why? Because you guys, the Brazilians, they have their own source of soybean, corn, and they have feed. They don't need to pay
Mhm.
for transportation or international
Correct.
transportation. So my question is, the Saudi industry in poultry, the KPIs are good, but then at what cost? Saudi will be competitive because you need to mix the manpower, the salary of the people. I think that technology you have, then I think that land is not an issue, right? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
comes to feed. How
Yeah.
expensive will
Yeah.
be the feed to be competitive, to stop the cheap, let's say, the cheap import from Brazil, and then if they're gonna be able to export at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
your thoughts about
Uh,
that?
yeah. To try to clarify it to you, the main market here now in Saudi Arabia is the fresh chicken. Okay, so it's a
Oh,
and
good point.
yeah, and the whole chicken. So the mainly what we do in Brazil with a griller, for example, it's what we export, because Brazil, it's an industry that or the demand of the market, it's different. The demand is for big birds. Here the demand is for grillers, for birds with 1.3, 1.4 kg live bird. Okay, live bird. So the weights are low, the age should be low. Most of the time they are low, depends of how you are with your performance. But the main product is fresh chicken and the whole chicken. So this is for live bird. The premium product, it will be 900 grams, 1 kg. So they have this culture to buy the whole chicken and to consume the whole chicken and fresh chicken. So
Okay,
this helps in terms of KPIs. It helps because it's a product that you can charge a little bit more. When any product comes from Brazil, it's frozen. So it's a different price. It's difficult to compete with Brazil, but it's a different
agree.
product. Yeah, so that's why
Hmm.
it's competitive, and it can be competitive in the countries around Saudi, if we keep this fresh chicken. If we consider the KPIs, if we compare the KPIs with Brazil, US, um, considering the reality that we have here, the KPIs are good. The performance is good because we cannot have a rich formula, rich nutrition as in Brazil, as in US. So we have to adapt. We have to adapt to the fact that we are importing the raw material. So considering that, it's good. It is a challenge in terms of disease because there are a lot
That
of
was
things here.
my next question. This is go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, it's a challenge. You can find a lot of things. So I'm learning a lot because some of the things I never saw it in Brazil, and
Okay,
yeah, but still, it's possible to manage. It's possible to handle it. Um so in terms of let's say mortality, we can be close to Brazil, to US. Uh, uh, Talking only about this KPI. If we compare with FCR, for example, we need to accept that our nutrition is not that rich, and it will be a little bit lower. Uh, Regarding the average daily gain, the weights that we do against the age, they are good if we also if you also consider this nutrition and the levels that we use here. So
Okay.
it makes a profitable market. It's profitable for the companies. Of course, if the investment that you have to do in the structure for the houses, for example, hatchery, PPP, they are different because of weather and manpower. So you probably you have to invest more. If I compare the level of technology between here and Brazil, here we are far from Brazil. Brazil is far behind, and because the level of investment that is really necessary there is smaller than here. So if we take this whole picture, investment against what we spend, the cost to produce,
Yeah. Huh?
uh, plus the market, what the market can pay, and the kind of product is a profitable market, and it's good. Most of the companies, they can find the balance. If they don't have it, it's because they are not having a good performance. That this is the same in every anywhere in the world. So if you can have a company in Brazil, you can have a company in US. If you don't have a good performance, for sure it will not be profitable. So it is possible. It is possible.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me.
Regarding, so I
Yeah.
think that, like I was saying before, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Regarding the investment, I think we have a very nice perspective. We spent a couple of minutes about that, so I think we can continue.
Yeah.
I ask you, Enzo, to talk about this because I understand that bringing to Saudi a professional like you obviously is for the transfer of technology, is to putting in place your knowledge, putting in place what you have learned, but you yourself, you need to have balance at the end of the day. You need to
Mm-hmm.
have that stability to be able to transfer your knowledge, and you need to have the balance in your family. That's one thing. Your family needs to feel safe, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
needs to be moving in the same direction. But in the another area is your daily, in your daily basis work, is the a different culture, is something that you were not used to deal with, different type of how things are done. And in myself, I have the experience when I was working in China. You need to have a different mentality. You need to be flexible. Is
Yeah.
nobody is not good or wrong culture. It's just different, and this is
Yeah.
what make this industry really nice, really fresh, and a lot of novelty. How you can adapt all these features together. So I would like to share a little bit about your story, how you are dealing that change of culture to transfer your technology, and let's say the part of your family to be capable to move forward in a safe space.
Yeah, I think, Rodolfo, one thing that helped me a lot is that I lived 3 years in Africa, in Tanzania, and I worked there with a breeder project, and it was already a change of culture in the country. So to move from to Africa to a country that is not developed as Brazil. It was a huge change, and I was lucky that my wife agreed to go there, and she was also
Okay.
aligned to the change. And this is really important when, as you said, uh, the demand that I have in work, it's really high because of all these things that I told you, the opportunity and the growing and everything. So I spend a lot of time working, but it's important to have the support from your family. Not I have my wife, I have two kids, but the support is in general, as I can say, from my parents, from my brother, from everyone, and mainly from the person that will be with you. So my wife is for sure. It's really important when I did this movement to Saudi, to Africa, to Tanzania, and to Saudi. So I think that Tanzania prepared me a lot. I had a very
Wow,
good
that's
experience
interesting.
there. Yeah, I had a very good experience. It was really nice. Professionally saying, it was amazing because I started the one project from zero, one unit of the company from zero, and I had the opportunity to handle almost everything in this project. So it was an amazing opportunity, and it was another good thing. It was the country itself that was not developed as Brazil. So you have, as you said, you have to adapt. You are not forced to be in that country. You are there because you have some targets, you have some objectives for your life. So you have to adapt to the different culture, to the condition that is there. One of the reasons that we didn't stay more, it's because we were looking to have a family, and we believed that there was not the best place to do that because we didn't have the structure as hospitals and education and everything. But here is different. Here is different. We are talking about a developed country. If here is safe, I can tell you, I already went to Europe, I already went to North America, Asia. This is really safe country, really
Wow,
safe.
that's
Yeah,
very important. Agree.
yeah, yeah, and it's before I move, I heard it from another Brazilian that is already here, 80 years that he's already living here. And when he said to me, when he told me that, I said, no, it can be true. Because I know Europe, I know US, I know how it's a safe country. I know that this is it's safer than Brazil. And he said, no, it's way far. And I saw even one American guy that's already, I think, around 12 years that he lives here. And this American guy was saying any city in Saudi is way safer than any place in US, and that also surprised me. So when I moved, I really got this as I really saw it by my own, and I can tell you it's really safe. It's really good country in terms of they are tough with the law. They are tough with the rules. That's why they keep it a safe country. They keep it organized in terms of if you think about crimes or problems like this. It's really good. It's really good. As it is a developed country, they have money. They are doing a good work on how to grow. You can find good hospitals, you can find good doctors, you can find good schools, and a good structure. Riyadh is the city that I live with my family. It's a city with more than 7 million people, and I know São Paulo, and I don't know if probably most of the people already heard about São Paulo. São Paulo, it's a city with 15 million people that you can find anything you want, and Riyadh is really similar to that. The only thing is that you cannot find this pork and beer. You can find no alcohol beer, but no alcohol beer. But
Okay.
all the rest you can find. So they know that as part of their dream to change the country on 2030, they have to develop all these things to also have Westerners, for example, to have people with different culture living here. So when people thinks about Saudi, they say no, probably it's really tough because you cannot do anything. You need to take care, otherwise they catch you, they get you
Agree.
to. So This is not true. This is not true. It's a country with it's a conservative country. They have a strong culture, and they are they they have a strong religion. As you know, for the Muslims, this is the land, the start, the source of the religion. So it's really important for them. That's why they keep some behaviors, some habits, because it's their history, and we need to respect that. We need to understand that we are in their country. As you said, you cannot fight against it. You need to understand it, and it's something that we respect. If you are not able to do that, if you don't want to do that, you don't need to be here. It's simple like that, in my opinion. If someone is suffering, okay, just leave it, go back to her country.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah, but I believe that it's and after I have my kids, I have one son and one daughter. They are still really young, but uh, I start to think about security. This is for me. If I need to move and go to any other place in the world, probably to be the first thing that I will think about. And I am completely comfortable here, completely comfortable here with that. And the other thing is that you can have anything you want. The only thing is we are far from our family, we are far from our country. There are, yeah, I need to take two flights. It's 13 hours, more or less 13 hours to go to
Ay,
my
ay,
country.
ay. It's long.
Yeah. But yeah, apart of that, it's really good. The life here is really good. And as I told you, my wife it's always supporting me, and she's already adapted to here. There are more Brazilians. We live in a compound, so we can
Yeah,
find
that was my
everything we
next
want
question. If
here.
you have like a community, a Brazilian community.
Yes, it's not only Brazilians, but it's a big compound. I think here has more than 300 houses. So there is a lot of Westerners and people from Europe, from Portugal, Italy, Netherlands, from different countries. So it's a mix in culture. So it's really nice. It's nice to meet different people as well. And we have also Brazilians, so we can have contact with people that has the same culture, the same mentality, let's say, and make things easier for sure. And in the compound, we have a huge structure for us to live. We have common areas, swimming pool, gym, market, a restaurant, laundry, everything here. We just have to walk. So you can adapt if you want, you can. And I really believe that the country it's much more than what we heard. And I tell by my experience before I moved, I had also some different thoughts about the country that I changed when I came here and said, no, this is not exactly how people say, no, this is different, this is good, this is bad. Of course, there are bad things as well. There are things that are different, or the things that can bother you. But for sure, if I needed to evaluate it, I would say that is there are much more benefits than bad things.
It's just because of time. I know that everybody we schedule one hour for this, and we have another 20 minutes for the technical part. Just one last question. So I can see the growing of Saudi Arabia, like you just shared with us. I can see that more professional roles like you, the Saudi poultry industry will be needed. So obviously, we can say that the industry will need more professionals like you
Correct.
in this transition in the middle term, that people like you, experts, transfer to technology to get local experts. Is that the right thinking, or do you have something to add?
It's yes and no, because there are. I think that uh, the Saudi people, they understand that there are things that they there are things that they want to learn, there are things that they want to do, and there are things that they don't. So they understand that part of their growth pass through other hands, other people's
Hmm.
hands. So uh, they let's say we try to develop people. It's something that my company tries to do. So we try to develop people, but we still depends of people coming from outside, because it's a limited amount of people, local people, looking for that. I
Okay.
don't know if I was clear, but for example, if you take the new generation, for example, what I see from the new generation, the local new generation, is that they are looking for technology.
Agree.
So probably this is it's a industry, it's a market that they are going to fill with the local people. But for other things, or even engineering things, we can say that they are also interested to these points. But for other things, there are markets, or there are activities that they don't really, they don't even want to learn, or they don't even want to be part of it. They understand that, okay, I'll bring someone with this knowledge, I'll bring someone that can handle it, and I also do my best to keep this person happy here. So I always use this example of a friend of mine that works with me, that he came to stay maybe 3 years, and he's already 80 years here, and I'm sure
Yeah,
that
classic.
he's happy and looking forward. So there are Americans in our companies that they are also for a long time here, and they, at least they never told me that they want to leave or something like that. They keep their plans here. So what I believe, Rodolfo, is that still in our talking about poultry industry, uh, I believe that most of the manpower, most of the knowledge, they are going to import. We'll develop people here up to a certain point, and after that, it will be still expats handle a lot of things,
Okay, that's good. So we have
Yeah,
another 20 minutes. Can we move forward to the
yeah,
technology so you can show our audience how it looks like and what type of technology are you using?
yeah. This is something nice here that I really enjoy. As I said before, the level of investments that we have here, it's
Wow, it's
comparing to
nice.
Brazil, it's much higher, and we have the opportunity to work with really high technology, new things.
Look at
Uh,
that. Very shine
yeah,
and clean. Yeah.
yeah, and uh, we need this kind of technology and structure, because we are in a climate that is completely different of any other place in the world, and we have, as I told you, we have limited manpower. So we also need technology to reduce the need of people working and doing things by hand as well. So this is just an example of one farm. It's a cage farm
Question.
for broiler. Yeah.
Exactly. That was gonna ask. Do you use a lot of cages for broilers?
Not exactly. Not exactly. My company has probably one of the biggest farms in the region, maybe even in the world. But we don't have the animal welfare as it is in Europe, so that's why it allows us to work in a house like this. But this is there are another companies in the Middle East that also use this kind of technology.
Wow.
So it's one of, in my opinion, one of the best in terms of technology. It's a Ferrari. It's difficult to manage, because it can give you a lot, but if you lose control, it can be also
Yeah,
a,
and
a big crack. Yeah,
and ventilation may be a challenge. The
yeah.
ventilation for
Yeah,
all the restriction.
the thing, yeah, talking about ventilation, there is one point that is better here. That, for example, In Brazil, we have during summer, humidity is usually it's high. Humidity is 50%, 60% of humidity, and you can reach 38 40 degrees. Uh, Here, the difference is that you can reach 50, but 50 degrees Celsius, but you have low humidity that helps us to
Yeah.
control the sensation. So
I mean,
when you are if 50 degrees, you are in a shed, you are protected from the hot wind. You feel comfortable. You don't feel bad. You don't feel that you are sweating all the time. It's different in Brazil, for example. During summer, you can feel that you feel sweat that you are sweating a lot. That you are getting wet, so it's different, and these help us to handle to manage the birds because it's easier to give a different sensation for them. So the cooling pad, for example, the cooling pad efficiency here, it's huge. It's huge. So it's different in countries that you have higher humidity. You are not going to reach the same efficiency that we have here. So it's something that helps to control the temperature inside the chicken houses for sure. And we need to work with a very good insulation, isolation as well. So because of the hot weather, and during winter we can go to 4 5 3 degrees uh, with some humidity because it's the time that we can have some rains in Saudi as well. But it gets cold. It gets cold, and
yeah, I
the
agree because
range.
the desert. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes, exactly. And the range between the day and night is it's also big. So you can have 30 degrees and you can go to 10. You can have 25 and go to 5. So the range it's big, and it's something that demands some control, good control of what you are doing.
Great. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so let me just show another type. That is a cage house that is not common. This is it's more common for sure for the people that is already working in the industry. It's a floor chicken house. So as I told you, the insulation needs to be good. So most of the houses, even from different companies, what I already saw here going around, they use this kind of construction. So it's concrete floors, concrete wall, and they put a chroma deck sheet, aluminum sheet, and they put a glass fiber between to do the insulation in the walls and in the ceiling.
Yeah, that was my question. Yeah, what type of
Yeah,
installation? You don't, I'm not seeing here drop ceiling. So I'm assuming that you have insulation in the roof, right?
yeah, correct. So they do. Usually, we use 15 centimeters of glass
PU
fiber
panel.
in the ceiling. Sorry,
What type of insulation do you use at the roof sheeting?
it's glass fiber.
Okay.
Yeah, glass wool. I think it's also another word that we can use.
So it's not common to see a drop ceiling houses in Saudi.
No, not at all, not at all. So it's this is the or they use this kind of construction, or they use a wall. So they do the ceiling as it is in the photos, but there are some construction that they put walls, on the side. So this is concrete bricks, and even with concrete bricks, they try to use some insulation
Yeah,
between the concrete, that can be PU. Uh, and the other type is sandwich panel. So sandwich panel, this let's say these kind of houses are cheaper. So sandwich panel it costs a little bit more, but we know the quality, we know how fast it is to build. So these are the main types. But most of them, like you are seeing in the photos, they have this layout. The
yeah.
rest they are similar to any place in the world. We have wall inlets,
Curtains,
fence.
they have some with curtain inside or not?
No, no. Uh, for heaters, for example, we use heaters, diesel heaters. So diesel is really cheap here, so it's not
Like
a big
what?
concern.
Brooders or boxes or canyons?
Yeah, canyons. So
Oh,
the
canyons.
canyons,
Okay.
the yeah. So we can dimension the heaters for the whole house. So this is one thing that is good because the cost is not that high. So the idea is to reduce the measurement. So we try to place the whole house so we don't do brooding, and but we need to have enough equipment to do that. So it's a point that you need to have a good dimension, good calculation on how to prepare your house. But
Yeah,
the
because
rest
that. Go.
yeah, the rest is similar to what we see. It's fans. We have some minimum ventilation fans. We can find LPC fans. Some in some houses, inlets, tunnel door, cooling system, high pressure cooling. So I think these things are more common if you compare with the industry around the world.
Well, I assume, and that's part of the whole discussion, that obviously all the top companies with the controllers, with the IT, and all the top, let's say, equipment, you have access, right, to the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
management companies that they produce controllers and how to manage the house with the orientation to have less manpower. And
yeah,
also what I'm seeing here also is a mix with the question that I asked you before, because you need to have a balance in how much investment are you using for building, let's say, 10 houses, one houses, and then the return of the investments.
correct.
Mostly in markets and environments that the people that they are building new houses, they are people that are coming from another industry. They are not broilers from the crave from so many years. So they
Correct.
really want to see the rentability of their capital,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
needs to
correct.
be a mix between the top technology and then all also be have revenues, be
Yeah.
profitable,
Yeah,
right?
correct, correct, perfect, perfect. So what we see many times, for example, with farms and farmers that are investors, but they don't know the industry, is that they look for
Exactly.
the cheapest solution,
And
and
they just go for the revenue. Show me the money.
yeah, yes, and in the end, they cannot reach it because they have a very bad performance. So this is one of the secrets. This is the key of the business here. And as you say, the good thing is that we have access to very good technology and very good companies that we can get this from them. But we need to find this balance, and this is the secret. When you find the balance that okay, I know what's the capacity in terms of performance. I know where I can go in with my performance. If I invest this amount of money, if I invest less, I know that I'm going to lose performance. So it means that I will not pay even a smaller
Completely
investment.
agree.
Yeah, so it's and even and the opposite is also correct. We can get investors and ask them to invest millions, and they will agree because they don't know much about the business. But in the end, even if you invest too much money, it reaches a point that it will not return
Exactly.
uh,
Yeah.
because
Needs to be a
you
middle
have a
point.
limit also. Yeah, you have, yeah, exactly. You have a limit for performance. You have a limit for what the genetic can give you. So that's why it's really important. And I already saw many farms and many houses that they did a few years ago, and they were looking for that to invest more to have a lower cost, and it's impossible to have a good performance because there is for sure there is no way to do something good. We try to this. I can use some examples. Give you some examples. You reduce the ventilation, or you not put a good cooling system, a cooling
Hmm.
pad system, and not put a high pressure cooling system. So you start to lose, and without this technology, without this equipment, you cannot handle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay,
think I have some other. Yeah, I think I
we
have
have
some
a
other
couple more
pictures.
minutes, so you can show a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah. So these are just other houses, just to show a little bit more how they are. They are similar to what we have. We have circulation fans. We have heaters. As I told you, we have to do the right dimension. As any place, if you are going to build in Brazil, US, you need to have the right calculation for the houses. Otherwise, you cannot operate. So these are some pictures from outside, from some farms in the middle
Look
of the
at that.
desert. The
The
idea, yeah,
middle
the
of the
idea is to
desert.
show the sand. The idea is to show
Oh,
the
yeah,
sand.
yeah.
Sometimes there are some camels, so
Yeah, I
but
know, I know. I have been there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but most of the land is desert. We can find the water. Water is it is available in bore wells. You can find it, but you have to treat. So you have
Yeah.
also to invest in a treatment. Most of the companies they use reverse osmosis. So we treat the water to make it able to work, even to use for people. So
For
it's
humans.
yeah. So it's a challenge, but it is possible to do for sure. I learned it a lot, and I learned that as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so these I just put some challenges here, but I think we already spoke about it before.
Yeah, we covered that.
Uh, yeah, and in part of, I think the only thing that we didn't mention is the expansion. Uh, it's a challenge because they want to do it fast. So, but it's nice. It's nice because we have a resource for that, and they know that okay, to do it faster, we need a little bit more investment and people able to handle this all the situation, to manage it, the new investments and all this growth. That's
Okay,
it.
perfect. Perfect. And so we cover exactly 57 minutes. I believe that this conversation is very exciting and a lot of information. I really enjoy it. And our main goal in Poultry School is showing our audience the different type of production challenge and open the mentality how to produce protein all around the world. So we really appreciate your time. I believe that we cover a very nice picture about the Saudi market. And in one of your previous slides, there was a line saying that there is a lot of opportunities. But
Yeah,
in my perception, I think that globally we can find the technology. I think that the commercial companies that they produce top of the line equipment, fans, controllers, feeder, they have done, even genetics companies, they have done a really good job
yeah,
providing all the technology to every corner of the world. But then I think is the human behavior and the capacity how to transfer technology, that's another bucket. How we
for sure.
relate between each other, how we transfer technology, how
Yeah,
we apply experience from one country to another country, that open mind culture minded that we need to, let's say, create new communities like the experience that you are having with your family. So is fascinating. It's very exciting. I really like this type of let's say industry and all these interactions. So I
hmm,
don't know if somebody has any other question. If not, I would like to thank you, Enzo, for your time, and I think that we will keep in contact. and this video will be uploaded in our platform, so everybody can watch it in the future in our YouTube channel. And I think that in our social media platforms, they have your contact in LinkedIn. And I really appreciate your time, Menzo, and your willingness to share your experience. Very, very interesting information, and I think that we're moving in the right direction. Enzo, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rodolfo. It was a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. I'll be happy to later on to talk again. We could talk for hours for
Yeah,
sure.
agree on that.
Yeah,
So we just
yeah,
covered a little bit, but yeah, this is a
yeah.
very good beginning, and thank you very much, Enzo. I
No
appreciate it.
worries, no worries. You can always count with me.
Okay, thank you, Enzo. Bye bye.
Thank you. Best regards. Thank you. See you.